Hello everyone, welcome back to a new session of the USA Pet Academy. I am Marco Cavazzoni, veterinary doctor, marine biologist, expert of animal nutrition. I'm the scientific director of the USA Group and the managing director of our Italian factory. Today we are going to speak about our very special product Alleva Care Allergocontrol and in general about all products related to the control of allergies, atopies and so on. The Allergocontrol is a product destined to the control of adverse food reaction, namely allergies, which are those adverse food reactions where there is the immune system reacting towards an unknown substance, maybe a protein or an additive. Then we have the intolerances, that it's when your body is not able to digest certain nutrient. And finally, the atopies, also called environmental allergies, which are allergies due to we don't know what. Normally, they don't have a nutritional treatment, but we will see that thanks to the anti-inflammatory property of our Allergocontrol, it is suitable also in this case. Another destination of use of the Allergocontrol is the use with the exclusion diets, which is nowadays the unique reliable way to make a diagnosis of allergies and consists in the reset of the symptoms, thanks to the use of the Allergocontrol, with the subsequent addition of a single isolate source of proteins in order to test which ones are the reactive and which ones they don't create a reaction into the animals. Once we have a pool of safe raw material, we can formulate a new maintenance diet. The characteristic of clinical nutrition for these products is the need to have a single source of protein, like it is the case of our hypoallergenic products, or a hydrolyzed source of protein. In literature is known how the dimension of the proteins which can create allergy are more or less between 10–14,000 Dalton upper. So it means that normally it is required a dimension of protein below the 10,000 Dalton to consider a product hypoallergenic. Another characteristic is the use of a single source of starch and as much purified as possible from the protein source, because we want the protein to proceed exclusively from the protein hydrolyzed source. Finally, the need of using a refined and very functional source of fats, like it is the fish oil, thanks to the anti-inflammatory property of the omega-3. The formulation of these products is by definition incomplete, because many of the ingredients we would normally use to make a complete maintenance product we cannot use because they would bring part of proteins or other unwanted substance. It's for this reason that one of the point of differentiations that make Allergocontrol the most complete hydrolyzed product in the market is the use of selected isolate source of soluble fiber: xylo, mannano, fructoligosaccharide and inulin. The phytonutrient used in this product is our very noble purified aloe vera. As we saw in the session of holistic, aloe vera is able to promote the cicatrization of the skin and at the same time to support the immune system. What better functionality than those two in a product where we need to care about the skin lesions due to the itching and the scratching, and at the same time the need of re-establishing a balanced immune system because of the overreaction of the system of the animal. So taking a look to the formulation, we have a product which is composed by a very limited amount of ingredients. The main ingredients are just three: the selected purified source of starch, in this case potato starch, so it is a grain-free product. The potato starch is extremely refined, so no protein is brought with it into the composition. Then the unique source of protein, it's a hydrolyzed fish. The hydrolyzed fish is hydrolyzed, so it's pre-digested into very small pieces by natural enzymes. So it's a completely natural ingredient with a molecular weight below 6,000 Dalton. I remember you that below 10,000 we are already safe. This product has most of the protein dimension around 3,000 Dalton. So everything below 6, around 3,000 Dalton. Then you will find in the composition the source of fats, the fish oil, herring oil rich in omega-3 with anti-inflammatory property, and the sunflower oil rich in linoleic acid, essential for dogs. After the source of oils, you will find all the source of soluble fiber we already talked about, and the aloe vera. All of this composition is reflected into the analytical values, where we can notice a moderate level of protein, a good level of fat, and they are all from fish oil and sunflower, so very rich in essential fatty acids, and a balanced level of minerals. Speaking about the second product of today, the gastrointestinal low fat, this product is aimed to solve the acute diarrheas, so to compensate for the malabsorption, maldigestion, and to compensate the lack of digestive enzymes due to the exocrine pancreas insufficiency. Pancreas is a very complex organ which is producing at the same time hormones like insulin and others and enzymes for digestion of nutrients. When its ability is impaired, we need to support with nutrition by reducing those elements that would create a problem to the pancreas for digestion, such as fats. The last indication for this product is the hyperlipidemia, being a product low in fat. How to support the maldigestion and at the same time block immediately diarrhea. The Usapet developed a property patented formula which is a mix of 3 very specific ingredients. The first one is the source of the soluble fiber. We are making use of pumpkin. We already saw in Alleva Natural how it's important for the soluble fiber to care about the re-establishment of the good microbiota, plus other source of fibers, among which the xylo oligosaccharide and the inulin from chicory. The second ingredient is the use of selected strains of brewer's yeast. We are using 2 Saccharomyces cerevisiae and 1 Cymberlinera yardini just to block pathogens because they have the ability of binding bad bacteria and impeding the adhesion to the cells of the intestine for provoking the diarrhea. In this way, the pathogens are inactivated and can be excreted with the feces. The third ingredient for solving the diarrhea is the complex of Ayurvedic herbs anti-diarrhea. They have a very specific content in tannins and other molecules which are able to bind water and keep the water inside the body to prevent the dehydration of the animal. This is so important to block immediately the symptom and allow a proper recovery. The formulation finally, it's based on chicken dehydrated meat because of a very digestible source of meat and very lean, so it brings low fat, which is exactly what we need in a gastrointestinal low fat diet. As a second ingredient, you would find the source of starch, and also in the third position, rice and sweet potato, because they are the gold standard of digestibility. You know that the digestibility goes together with the glycemic index, so those 2 sources of carbohydrates are actually of a very high glycemic index. But this is exactly what we need. You remember that also in equilibrium we wanted to have the best digestibility and the best release of nutrients to compensate animals that probably have some issues and are not feeding in a while. The very specific approach with a starch is to have the most digestible and the ones that can increase the energy level as quick as possible. After the source of starch, you will find the source of fiber, pumpkin, which will couple with the other source of fibers down into the label, and then the source of fats, fish oil from herring, very rich in EPA and DHA, very active omega-3 to reduce inflammation also at intestinal level, other source of fats as a source of linoleic acid. The rest of composition is completed by special intake of minerals to compensate the losses due to diarrhea and vomiting, and of course our other phytonutrients like the anti-diarrhea blocking Ayurvedic plants. All of this composition is reflecting into analytical values that see a moderate level of protein, a reduced level of fat, and a reduced level of crude fiber, because the crude fiber is promoting the peristalsis, thus increasing the loss of water and the diarrhea, while we need in this case soluble fiber to keep the water inside the intestine and to care about the microbiota. You will notice in the analytical values a very increased level of certain minerals, as we said, to compensate from losses. This is very important because we want an animal that is able to recover as quick as possible. So, now that we presented the two products, Allergocontrol and Gastrointestinal, let me introduce you a third topic, which is the use of a diet during specific chronic diarrhea, like it is the case of inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, so common nowadays. Most of those pathologies recognize a diet-responsive diarrhea, so it has somehow some sort of allergy at intestinal level that promote and prolong the chronic diarrhea. The use of our hydrolyzed product is the most indicated in this case, so Allergocontrol is probably better than Gastrointestinal in this case of specific chronic diarrheas, because it is able to escape from the control of the immune system, thus resolving the the diet-responsive diarrhea, and at the same time the supplementation of the soluble fiber, which is point of differentiation of Allergocontrol, is able to support the intestinal health. Thank you very much for having been with us. If you like the content of this training session, stay with us, because we have still many products to talk about in Alleva Care in our Viusa Pet Academy. Stay tuned.